So what I'm just doing here is I'm just going to remote desktop into my computer back at work, and I'm using XT, so if it drops out, you know why. So this little screen here, this little one here, is basically the first screen you get when you load up, and you can see the different applications there. We've got wetlands, geothermal, lakes, rivers and streams, terrestrial, estuaries, marine and underground. And so basically you just click on whichever one you want to use. And what I've clicked on here is the wetlands database. Backs up. Still things. So two concepts with the system is everything is spatially enabled. So when you go to a site, you can click on the map button. You can see the map button up the top here, and that will launch a map. And as you click through the sites, it will zoom into the spatial location for each of the sites. We also have the capability to be able to spatially locate any piece of data that we store about the site. So, for example, if you want to show a particular species that exists in the wetland, you can actually draw a polygon around that, and you can go directly from a piece of data in the record about the site straight to the GIS. So, just to view the map, this is just a map view of that particular wetland that I've got selected. Not very exciting, it's just an extent. We do map things in versions, so this is version 1 of that extent of the wetland, but as we remap extents, we can add different versions, and so you can look at the extent change over time, and you can do trend analysis and all that sort of stuff on it. You can load other layers, and if you want to overlay consents or any other layer for that matter, you can load it up on this GIS layer as well, and you can see if there's consents on this wetland, or if there's some land management activity of some description, or pest management, or any of those sort of things. Nancy's going to take over and give you a run through on what information we have in them.
Most of the text are pretty self-explanatory, so I'll go through it really, really quickly. This is just the basic site sheet here, and the main pieces of interesting information on here, it will have some legal protection information on there where that's available, so if there's nothing in there theoretically, there's no legal protection over that site, and that gives a very brief description of the Act section, and it tells you something in here about the purpose of why it's reserved in terms of how the Reserves Act has this was reserved for the purpose of blah 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 sort of information. These layers here are all populated from our GIS system, so it connects in there and it pulls it up, and I think it's based on the centre of the polygon, something like that, and it just draws all this information out. We've pretty much just connected everything that we can think of in there, so all of this legal stuff up here, they will come later on for the time.
So territorial authority, for example, if the wetland happens to span 2 boundaries, you get both territorial authorities listed in the list there. And it does just use a spatial query to pull that information out.
The importance tab essentially identifies it in any report that it's ever come up in, and it tells you what it was ranked as, if it was ranked, and what that ranking means. So sitting behind this are tables for, if it's a P&A report, it will have category 1, 2, 3, and it will tell you what category 1, 2, 3 criteria are and where it sits in that system, and give you the full reference. Eventually we hope to have links to either the page, the report page in the document, or possibly to the document, but we're not too sure because our document storage system has just been had a big impact, but we're not sure what's this is kind of why we're looking at ARC system. Our monitoring, the monitoring tab that we have here will rely really heavily on being able to connect into documents and external data sheets and stuff as it sits in here. But what we have set up is so that you know who's doing what activities, how often you're doing it, whether it was a project that started and finished, or whether it's an ongoing. And we also have a little tick box within our own system that says whether or not it's under an environmental program, which is actually been superseded, so it will now be a biodiversity management plan. So that would say whether or not it's being managed under that and potentially have a link to that, to the document that tells you what all the activities are in the biodiversity management plan. And the same goes for monitoring. So that would link to potentially to data sheets, Parkapū data, field sheets if you need to get field sheets out and that kind of stuff.
This is the part that ARC have built an entire system around, which we're actually looking to incorporate at this point.
Pretty self-explanatory, but we do draw the vegetation species lists are drawn from one of Land Care Research's systems. I don't know where we got this
From DOT.
so we are tying into national systems there just to get standard names and all that kind of stuff. And I think this one, can you just scroll across a little bit there? It might not work. I'm pretty sure this one has the threat classification attached to it as well, so you can see whether you've got threatened species and under what system.
Threat line. So a little threat line, it's just not filled in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you, I'm guessing it's not filled in it. Alright. Again, self-explanatory, just lists all the species, all your pest species that are there. And these pest, that shouldn't say pest threat ranking, it should just say pest ranking. So that's whether or not it's an RPMS pest or a national pest particle, that kind of style. Under this one, I mean, all of your threat category types are things like under hydrology, it will have drains within the wetland, drains around the wetland. I don't know if we actually have one that's called water takes, but it would potentially incorporate water takes upstream and that kind of thing. Under ecological, it would have, that would be when pest plant invasion, pest animal invasion would be an issue. And I mean, these ones are pretty self-explanatory. Other is things like logging and earthworks surrounding wetlands. Those get slightly At the moment, all this one tells you is what wetland class it is, so whether it's a fender bog swamp, whether it's a flatter basin, a hill slope, which probably won't be. And I can't remember what the other yeah, no, that one's gone. But that's pretty much all that that's about at this stage. We do have vegetation mapping for a lot of our wetlands in the region, but we haven't yet got that into our GIS system, so we can link it in here. But this would link to vegetation polygons on a map.